everyone, my name is Sydney Brown, financial coach and budgeting expert here to help you spend money with confidence. I'm here to help you create and stick to a budget so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck and start spending money with confidence. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. Alright, so today's video is about meal prepping. Meal prepping. Something I need to be doing right now, but instead I'm recording this video. So what is meal prep? Meal prep is when you create 2 or more meals out of one batch of food. So it's basically eating leftovers for the next, at least one extra meal. But generally, if you're gonna meal prep, you meal prep for the entire week of food. You eat that food for the entire week. You cook it at one time and you eat it for the entire week. You might also ask, how is this related to money management? But I think it's actually essential to money management because when you think about, and I've probably said before and I'm sure I'll say it again, when it comes to managing your money, the top 3 things that you have to worry about are food, housing, and transportation. If you can make big cuts in any of these 3 areas, you are in to save a lot of money. So if you're overspending, look at those big 3 categories: food, transportation, and housing, and see if you can make a big cut in one of these areas. And I think meal prepping is a way that you can make a large cut in your food budget for the week. Before we dive into today's video, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter. It's a free weekly newsletter where you get a challenge each week. Each challenge is designed to help you earn more, save more, and manage your money a lot better. So make sure you hit the subscribe button in the description in order to get that free newsletter on a weekly basis. Okay, back to today's video. So like I said, meal prepping is essential for budgeting. I think so. And maybe it's a stretch, but I feel like there's oftentimes a lot of questions around how to start meal prepping. You know, everybody wants to meal prep, but only a few people actually do. I did a poll on my Instagram account to see like how many of you guys do actually meal prep and how many of you don't. It seems like it was a split decision. It was about 50-50. Some people did and some people didn't. So like I said, why is meal prepping essential to money management? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American spends about $3,000 on eating out. And that's $3,000 a year. And if you're thinking, wait, that's a lot of money. There's no way I'm spending that much when it comes to eating out. You might want to think again. Because on average, if you eat out once a day for lunch, on average, a meal would be about $10 for eating out. That's really not that much when you think about how much you could spend. I know the food trucks at my workplace can be way more than $10, so I consider that eating out as well. So let's say, we'll be conservative and say that you spend $10 on eating out every day for 5 days a week. That would be $50 a week on eating out. So if you spend $50 a week on eating out, if you multiply that for 52 weeks in a year, that's $2,500. So that's pretty close to the average annual spending of a household according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So it's pretty close. And I think that was being conservative because most of the time you're gonna spend a lot more, or you're probably gonna eat out more than one time a day if you are eating out. So just keep in mind that even though $3,000 a year sounds like a lot, it's very common to spend more than that, and you might even spend a little less than that, but I think $3,000 is a pretty conservative number. And then when you compare that to eating at home, on average, the cost of a meal bought with groceries will cost about $4. So that's a $9 savings when you compare to about the average cost of $13 a meal when compared to eating out. And I feel like I have not a funny story about this. So when I think about eating out, when I hear this statistic about how it's on average $9 cheaper than it is when you eat out versus when you eat at home, I went to this place in my local area to eat out. Tell me why they were selling peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for $12. $12 for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And then I just went out for a friend's birthday party. The French toast was $20. Eating out can be so expensive, and usually the food, I agree, does taste a lot better when you eat out. It might be something about the experience of eating out. I don't really know. You know, definitely they are better chefs than I am at home, but I know French toast cost bread, eggs, cinnamon, and maybe if you want to get fancy, a little bit of whipped cream. That's pretty much it. That is not nowhere near $20. You know what the profit margins on that is? That's crazy. So you need to be eating at home. So who is meal prepping for? I don't think that meal prepping is for everyone, but I think that all people can benefit from meal prepping. So for example, I was doing some research before doing the video, and the person that I was looking at said that families can't meal prep, and I disagree. I think that just having some forethought around what you are planning to eat that week and meal planning, and doing a little small preps, like such as just being able to like prepare the food in advance so that when you come home from work, your family can eat a healthy meal very quickly, I think is a really great way to save money as well. So I don't think that just because you are in a family or you're not a single person or whatever, that doesn't mean that meal prepping isn't for you. I think meal prepping is for people who value saving money over variety of food, because in general, the easier preps are the ones that you're gonna make one meal and eat it for the whole week. So if you are someone who values variety, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe meal prep isn't for you, but if you are someone who values saving money over variety or efficiency over variety, then meal prep could be for you. So if you're somebody who doesn't like leftovers and you get bored with your food very easily, then maybe meal prep isn't for you. However, I will say that for myself, growing up, I didn't like leftovers, but as an adult, I really don't like cooking. So for me, I like meal prep because it allows me to spend as little time cooking as humanly possible. And generally, I don't mind eating the same thing every day for a very long time. I was actually just telling my boyfriend today that when I was in college, I ate the same dinner every single day for a year. I ate at Panda Express teriyaki chicken in my college every single day for a year because I lived right next to the Panda Express, and I would pick up food on the way home and I would eat the exact same meal every single day. I think meal prepping is for people who want to have control over what they eat. They want to maximize the time that they have, and they want to maximize the budget. If all those things are valuable to you, then maybe meal prep is something you should consider. I think even just spending the time to meal plan instead of it doesn't have to be an all or nothing type of deal. Taking time to plan out your meal before you go grocery shopping is the skill I think that it takes in order to start meal prepping. So how does one start meal prepping? And I think everyone should start meal prepping by starting small. I think the easiest way to start meal prepping is to consider making more than one meal from the dinner you made previous. So, for example, if it's Monday and I'm making dinner, make enough so that I have enough for lunch tomorrow. And that is considered a small prep. So once you're comfortable with that, start getting to know what types of foods you like for meal prep. So for me, when I started out meal prepping, I would do like a meat, like a protein, a vegetable, and like a grain or rice combination. However, I've discovered over time that I don't really like heating up meat as leftovers. For me, it's not really what I like to do, especially for the entire week. So over time, I stopped doing that. That doesn't mean that it won't work for you. Maybe if you like that, then that's fine. However, that doesn't work for me anymore. I was actually telling somebody in my Instagram stories that for the most part I enjoy meal prepping soups because I think they reheat very well and they're very easy to make. So they really usually work very well for the entire week. You don't really have to worry about the texture of the meat because it's hidden within the sauce of the soup. So it works for me. Doesn't mean it will necessarily work for you. So my next tip is to pay attention to where you are eating out the most. So if you are always eating lunch out because you don't have time, I don't know why if you're always eating out for lunch, maybe consider starting there because maybe there's the most value, most bang for your buck when it comes to money savings. If you're constantly buying energy drinks or energy products in order to boost your energy, maybe consider buying a coffee maker and making coffee at home in order to replace the eating out cost of convenience coffee drinking or things like that. So just pay attention to where you're eating out and do some reflection about why you might be eating out in these places and see if there are ways to save money with either packing your lunch or meal prepping or finding an alternative for eating out, convenience spending out. So the next step would be to start packing a single meal a week. So instead of making a meal that requires you to prep 3 different things, for example, mashed potatoes as the side or some fancy lemon and herb dish as the protein and some fancy rice quinoa situation or whatever. Once you get the hang of meal prepping one meal, for example, your lunches on a regular basis, you could move forward in meal prepping dinners as well. Personally, I stopped meal prepping dinners. I don't eat out for dinner, but I eat at home. I do something very small for dinner, like frozen meals from Trader Joe's are often my go-to for eating at home, but also very cost-effective. So you can move forward with meal prepping dinner if you would like, but it's not always, it doesn't work for everyone. Find what works for you. I decided that lunches is where I really need meal prep because I don't like eating out and I don't have the time to go home and eat every day. So making sure that I have food for work at lunch is essential. Okay, and the next tip is going to be pay attention to food waste. So if you are wasting a lot of food, for example, if you prep for the entire week, but you only eat 3 days of food, peel that back. Decide that, okay, it's not realistic for me to continue making food for 5 days a week. I'm not gonna eat 5 days a week, so I need to try 3 days. So start trying 3 days and see if you eat all that. And if you don't, if you were previously eating out 5 days a week and now you only eat out 2 days because you've decided to start meal prepping 3 days of food and you don't waste any money on food because you didn't let the food go bad or things like that, that's a win. It doesn't have to be an all or none type of deal. You can start there and see if you could, 3 days into the week, prep again to get more variety. If eating leftovers for the next day, making dinner every night and eating that as lunch is the next. If making dinner every night and eating the food as leftovers the following day is how you create that variety for yourself, but also avoid food waste as well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great way to save money and create variety for yourself, but also save money. But the point is to pay attention to your food waste. If you are wasting food for any reason, stop doing what you're doing because you're not helping the situation. By wasting money, by wasting food and then eating out anyway, you're spending twice. You're double dipping. You're probably spending more money because not only did you buy groceries you didn't use and didn't eat, but also you ate out too. So don't do that. So there you have it. I hope this answers your meal prep questions. If you have questions, definitely let me know in the comments. So let's create some conversation around meal prep. Do y'all meal prep? I really want to know. Are you meal prepping? Are you not meal prepping? If not, do you have questions about meal prepping? Let me know. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. And if you want those 52 actionable challenges delivered straight to your inbox, definitely subscribe to the email list, which is going to be in the description. That's it for today. Bye!